What's new, Coach?
Pretty fantastic that women's basketball went to Texas and beat them like a drum, and that was exciting. So it was a good weekend for us, and it's somewhat unexpected to be able to go on the road against two pretty good teams and be able to beat those guys. And again, I kind of keep saying the same thing. It's really proud of how they come out and they fight and they scratch and they find a way to win. And now with McKenna back, McKenna's made a big difference because now we put McKenna for Kamiley. Kamiley now goes in libero's position, and McKenna gives a little more punch in the front row. And so I'm not sure if we could have pulled those two wins off without those changes. And so having McKenna back has really been impactful for us.
And her serving, especially in that Oregon match, was just,
Yeah, and there's a couple of those 5-game matches right before McKenna was healthy that I think had we just had her serve for us, the outcome may have been different. But there's so many ways that she influences our team, other than just a physical presence. Her voice on the floor and her competitiveness and her aptitude for the game is so good, and it helps us function better and more consistently. And so, you don't realize that's the case until she goes back on the floor, and you're like, man, we're just a better team in general because of her being on the floor. And so that was pretty obvious this weekend.
So before you had said if you win like 8 games, you probably would be eligible for the tournament. So now you're at 4.
Right. Yeah, believe me, I've been going through the math and some of the matches that we went 5 and didn't win, and I'm not going to get too far ahead of ourselves because it's we're playing the Washington schools this weekend, and then we got UCLA and ASU, and I will still stick to what I said earlier, that if you get to 18 wins, we're gonna go. But it's divine intervention a little bit here, to be able to do that, and not that I want to sell our kids short, but we'll just take it as it comes, and we play Washington on Friday, and they're obviously one of the best teams in the country, and we thought that we played a pretty good matchup there. That was, I think, the first weekend maybe without our bigs, and so we were still kind of figure things out. But Washington's well coached, and they got a lot of talent, but you just never know. Every time I watch a team on film, and I'm going, there's just no way we can hang with these guys and compete with them. And then we get out there and we do. The 2 matches that we didn't do that were Stanford and Cal. And I think every time that we play a Pac-12 conference opponent, I feel like that's always a possibility. But on the other hand, there's always a possibility we win too. So, I certainly don't want to sell those kids short.
12 stack up this year, top to bottom, in your opinion? I know virtually every year it's a juggernaut, but what do you think about this year in particular?
I think it's as deep as it's ever been. I think that the parity amongst the teams, and the thing that's influencing everybody are injuries. Oregon State's injured. They had a couple of kids that are injured, and Oregon's injured. And I think if you take a look at the teams that are on the bottom half, the influence are injuries. And we're not the only one that's going through that particular, dealing with those issues. It's really become a factor, and last year we could deal with it for different reasons, and this year we're just not able to deal with it. And having kids out for now going on 8 weeks is just almost impossible for us to recover from something like that.
Coach, kind of going off of PJ and Chris's question, if you find yourself on the so-called bubble, do you think the strength of the conference will help you maybe get over the top?
The issue, our team sheet doesn't look good, and that's the thing. We don't have any top 25 wins. We don't have any top 50 wins at this point. Now, if you win 4 straight matches, then you're going to have a couple, I think we're in the conversation, and the strength of schedule in our non-conference schedule has been really good. And so I think that saves us as well. So that's why I've always asserted that the 18-win mark is kind of the benchmark for us. But you never know. I'm not counting my chickens before they're hatched. I mean, beating Washington is going to be a pretty tall order for us, with the lineup that we have out there. And I don't think Whitney or any of those three kids are going to get cleared before Friday or Saturday. So I think what we got, the lineup that we have, and even if they were, I mean, the reality is we've been going now on 8 weeks without, a healthy lineup, and the kids have been out there, and they've really kind of formed a real strong bond, and to kind of break that up would, even if I had the healthy kids, it would be a lot of spot playing. It wouldn't be an immediate overhaul and a change of adding those bodies in there, even if they were healthy. I think that would really disrupt the chemistry of the team.
And just, as you're going through this, and you have this great weekend, and Kamali, freshman of the week.
Right.
How incredible is that for her?
Terrific. There were some great statistical benchmarks for us. First, Katie, who's really struggled with her error percentages and error rate, had 53 swings and 2 errors on Saturday or on Sunday, which is remarkable for anybody. So the growth and improvement that she's made throughout the season and having a match like that is just remarkable. Paige having 20 and having a double, 20 and 20, so which is amazing in and itself. Had a great weekend. You only got 2 outside hitters, and they're taking 90% of the swings. And so for those guys, it's really an accomplishment for them. And I'm really proud of how they developed and handled a very difficult situation. And then you have Kamali doing her thing. And, like I've always said, Kamali's a pretty special kid, and it's nice that she gets recognition for having a match like she had.
Point in the second set with Oregon when it was just so long.
Right.
As a coach, how do you feel? Is that exciting, or is that just, will this be over soon?
Well, we were down big early, in the middle of that set. We're down by 6 or 7 points, and, we fought our way back, and then, of course, Kamali aces to get to notch the win, and you don't really think about it winning or losing, just worry about the next play and just hoping that you play, efficiently in that next set or that next play. So. But it's great to win. I mean, winning never gets old, regardless of how you do it. And certainly the way we've been doing it has been, pretty exciting for us, And so it was a good feeling this weekend. And we flew charter for the first time. That we're thinking that was the reason why that we won, was because our transportation was much more efficient.
And so obviously you get both the Washington schools at home, both teams in the top 25. What do you expect the atmosphere to be like for both of those matches?
Well, they're excellent teams. Physically they're, they got really good players in every position, and so the serving is going to be, Washington and Washington State are 2 of the best serving teams in the conference. And I think that if we can't handle that serve, because for us it's all about first contact. If we can't create space for our hitters, it's going to be really a short night for us. But we've been able to be really good in the first contact, which gives our hitters a little bit more room to hit, and then our defense around the block, because typically, when McKenna's up there, when Kamali's up there, we're going one-on-one as blockers. We've got to be really good about defending around a single block. When the hitters become bigger and stronger, like Washington State have, that becomes a lot more difficult, but it's not like we haven't faced that before. We've been facing that for several weeks now. So, the hope is that we can compete with these guys, and we'll certainly be ready to play, and the kids will certainly fight, and, we just hope it's enough to put ourselves in the position to win sets and win the match.
Dave, you talked about women's basketball earlier, but how about women's soccer going the NCAA tournament winning, and just talking about Tony and that?
Terrific. Tony, consistently is getting the tournament now, which is, I think, the mark of a really, really good coach and a really good program. And Seth Dempsey, who hired me, I think after he had been in the NCAA for 5 or 6 years, and he was a guest speaker at the conference meeting back in, I think, in June one year, and he came up to me and he says, Dave, you're really good. You run a really good program. It's not about just one good season. It's about running and being successful from year after year after year, and Tony is certainly demonstrating that, as is Adia. I mean, Adia is certainly, and I know her squad really well, especially since Lauren is going to be playing both volleyball and basketball, so we get to know those players, and but you can really see the growth in both those programs, and it's exciting on the women's side for us, since obviously women's golf and all the other women's programs are doing fantastic.
I think it was Oregon telecast, they were talking, where you said if you thought you could get 2 really good classes, you could compete at the national
Right,
level.
right.
Is that how you feel? And I mean, how's that going?
Yeah, the 20 class we feel like is an exceptional class for us, and we have it kind of meets every need that we have, because we lose quite a few players this year, and I think that's one reason why we're playing as well as we do. We got all the seniors on the floor now, so I think that's another reason why we've consistently been competitive. But in terms of the classes, we feel like the 20 class is, really exceptional for us, as good as any class I've had. And then the 21 class, the kids who've already committed, obviously I can't comment, but we feel like that'll be a terrific class that'll back up the 20 class. So, we have a great setter with Emery Herman, who I think is fantastic. We have, terrific outside hitters and really good middles. And so I'm really confident that with time we're going to be, one of the upper teams in the conference. Hope springs eternal for everyone, right, at this stage. So,
Anything else?
thanks, you guys.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Tony.
Coach.